Oceana County Board of Commissioners for April 25th, 2024. The end of April already. I'm telling you. It's amazing. I'd like to call the meeting to order and ask the clerk to do a roll call, please.
Mr. Erickson?
Here.
Mr. Beggs?
Here.
Mr. Hardy?
Here.
Mr. Morse?
Mr. Morris has been excused by the chair.
Mr. Walker?
Here. I ask for approval of the minutes from April 9th, 2024.
So move.
Moved by Mr. Erickson. Do we have a support?
I'll support Hardy.
Moved by Mr. Hardy. Any comments or corrections or additions to the minutes? Hearing none, all in favor of accepting the minutes as presented, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes are accepted. Conflict of interest disclosure regarding agenda items. Do any members want to declare a conflict of interest? Seeing none, changes to the agenda. Hearing no changes to the agenda, I ask for a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
So move. I'm sorry. Support Mr. Hardy.
Moved by Mr. Hardy, supported by Mr. Erickson. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. Are there any public comments at this time?
My name's Ron Rash, and I'm here just by myself today, and I would just like to let you know that I think you all are doing a very excellent job here, and the county would be amiss without you. So,
Thank you for your comments. As chair, Mr. Rash, it is a pleasure to be on a board with the other members that are here.
and very nice.
Where is he from?
And thank you for all you do, Ron.
Mr. Address for the clerk?
2970 North Cherry Lane, Mears, Michigan.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Erickson, Parks and Recreation Rules and Regulations, number 2024-48.
Mr. Walker, I move to adopt motion number 2024-48, the proposed Parks and Recreation Rules and Regulations as presented by the Parks and Recreation Commission with the changes noted.
That it will be a civil infraction up to $100 fine.
With no imprisonment.
Do we have a support for that?
I'll support Hardy.
Are there any other discussion or clarification needed on it?
I think it's really good, though, that we ironed that out, and the sheriff now will be able to enforce.
And as we heard this morning, both our prosecuting attorney and our sheriffs have said that they will help the parks people if there are any problems with this adoption. So I want to thank the parks people, and I ask for a roll call vote, please.
Mr. Erickson?
Yes.
Mr. Hardy?
Yes.
Mr. Beggs?
Yes.
Mr. Walker?
Yes. Mr. Beggs, Veterans Affairs ballot renewal.
I'd like to make a motion, excuse me. I'd like to make a motion 2024-49 to adopt resolution 2409, approving the ballot language proposition for the August election for the provision of an operating millage for the Oceana County Veterans Affairs.
Do we have a support?
Support.
Moved by Mr. Beggs, support by Mr. Erickson. Any public comments? Again, I would like to say that I'm happy to see that it's on a 4-year cycle, and it's refreshing to see one group come in and not ask for an increase in their millage. So,
And,
Mr.
Chair,
Erickson?
I'd also like to reiterate what I had said previously in the positive changes in the Office of Veterans Affairs that we've seen in the last 4 years. It was fuddled, it was muddy, it was not functioning properly, and in that phone call that I had received yesterday to compliment what Jody Slinker had done for that veteran, I can't tell you how happy that gentleman was with the service that he'd received in that office.
When that millage was passed, 9 years ago, and 8 years ago, we were in the infancy and we really had no direction from anybody on which way to go. And I think the people tried hard to make it work, but now that we have professional people on the board and we have professional people in the office, it's working much smoother. It was an infant that was growing up, and now it's mature.
Well, it was a very expensive website that crashed.
Any other comments? Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Beggs,
Yes.
Mr. Erickson,
Yes.
Mr. Hardy,
Yes.
Mr. Walker.
Yes. Mr. Hardy, Drain Commissioners request to hire a chief deputy replacement 2024-50.
Thank you, Chairman. Motion 2024-50 to allow the county drain commissioner to hire a chief deputy replacement 3 months prior to the current deputy's retirement for training purpose.
Do we have a support?
I'll support.
Moved by Mr. Hardy, support by Mr. Beggs. Any discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Hardy,
Yes.
Mr. Beggs,
Yes.
Mr. Erickson,
Yes.
Mr. Walker.
Yes. Mr. Erickson,
Yes, sir.
would you do the next one for us, please, senior personnel?
Yes, sir. Mr. Walker, I make motion 2024-51 to allow the County Register of Deeds to hire a clerk replacement for 1 month prior to the current chief deputy's retirement for training purposes.
Do we have a support?
I'll support.
Moved by Mr. Erickson, support by Mr. Beggs. Any comments or discussion from the board?
Yeah, and as Mr. Hardy had said earlier, the Office of Register of Deeds will sorely miss Colleen and the job that she's done for all of these years. And it's a very technical office. It has many requirements, and now being mostly electronic, and we've got it electronically online. I think Mr. Hodges is wise to have someone come in and dovetail that help.
Any other comments? Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Erickson,
Yes.
Mr. Beggs,
Yes.
Mr. Hardy,
Yes.
Mr. Walker.
Yes. Mr. Erickson, appointment of a materials management DPA 2024-52.
Mr. Walker, I make motion 2024-52 to appoint the West Michigan Shoreline Regional Development Commission as the designated planning agency for Oceana County for the purpose of a regional materials management plan and to allow the chair to sign that agreement.
Do we have a support?
I'll support Hardy.
Moved by Mr. Erickson, support by Mr. Hardy. Any discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Erickson,
Yes.
Mr. Hardy,
Yes.
Mr. Beggs,
Yes.
Mr. Walker.
Yes. Mr. Hardy, payment of claims.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I ask for board approval of accounts payable and release of funds for Thursday, April 25th, 2024. Being ambulance fund total $20,736.69. Indigent defense fund $26,429.50. K-9 unit $1,584. I'm sorry, that was incorrect. LOCT fund total $1,584. K-9 fund $218.36. Department of Veterans Affairs $7,890.54. Technology and Innovation $30,257.71. Building Department fund total $3,063.56. General fund total of $368,104,062 for a grand total of $458,284.98.
Do we have a support?
I'll support.
Moved by Mr. Hardy, support by Mr. Beggs. Any discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Hardy,
Yes.
Mr. Beggs,
Yes.
Mr. Erickson,
Yes.
Mr. Walker.
Yes. Reports from the commissioners. Mr. Beggs?
I don't think I have anything to report today.
Mr. Hardy?
No, the 911 board meeting was canceled until next month due to basically minor activity.
So, Mr. Erickson?
Mr. Walker, yes, we're in the midst of our search for the medical care facility administrator at this time. We have interviewed 8 out of a potential field of, I believe, 13. We'd had some withdrawals of resumes from the search. We have also had 2 follow-up interviews with 2 candidates, and at this time, a selection for a new county medical care administrator has not been completed. We'll be meeting this afternoon to further that search and discuss where we are at. At the present time, Gary Davidson is there as an administrator. He brought a license with him, and hopefully we'll be able to make that final selection soon and fill that position and be able to continue and to promote the medical care millage that'll be coming up in the fall ballot.
Thank you, Mr. Erickson. Anything else for us?
Parks, yeah, Parks has been great. Mr. McKean has been fantastic. Gary is a hard guy to follow. I find him everywhere, but the job that Gary's done with Parks, John Warner's done with Parks, John Wilson's done with Parks, Pete Lundberg, the whole county owes Pete Lundberg a thank you for the time, just the sheer time that he has spent out at Cedar Point. Fantastic. Gary's tutelage, we've got that new pavilion at Cedar Point. We've got a new pavilion at Doolittle, the Knee-High Naturalists. When he showed us 30 kids out at our county parks enjoying the outdoors and learning more. And honestly, to have 240 species available at Gales Pond and Doolittle, those are rich assets that Oceana County has. And to follow up on what Gary had said about other counties having so much more outdoor activities for their residents, outdoors, as we found through that COVID lockdown, more people got out and did more things outside with their families than ever before. I shouldn't say ever before, but of recent memory. It's really nice to have these assets available for county residents, and it only makes living here a richer experience. Makes more people more inclined to move here. And also, the big thing is the east side of the county, they don't often go to Silver Lake or Lake Michigan, as we're used to being here on the west side. But to have those opportunities available inland for our county residents, to give them a place that they can recreate or explore or go hiking, it's extremely important that we join all of our county residents in using our county parks. And I would implore this board in the future to look for funding opportunities to make our park system a richer experience for everyone involved.
Thank you, Mr. Erickson. I just have 2 simple things. If we have not completed our evaluations of the administrator, it would be nice if Jessica could have those by the first of the week so we can schedule a time, with the administrator. And the other thing I wanted to mention was I talked to Joel McCormick this week, and he went out to the transfer station with the gentleman who bid from West Michigan Scale for the Rice Lake Scale, and he had not bid a turnkey scale out there, whereas GR Scale had bid it as a turnkey. They looked at the site out there, and he and Joel are going to work, and Joel is the principal owner of the McCormick gas stations, but he also owns McCormick Sand, and his son he have McCormick Excavating. He is going to give us just a budget figure And it's nothing firm, it's nothing that we have to accept or we wanna accept. He is going to give us a budget figure of what it'll cost to prepare the site, and what it would cost for the concrete to have the scale all installed. So we will know the overall costs, and it was very, very refreshing to hear of one of the businessmen who offered that to us, to come and do that, and we will know. And they met with Brian out there on Saturday, and he talked about where he thought the scale should go. So Joel didn't think he could have it for me today, but he will have that to me next week, and I'll get it to the administrator so she can send that out. Do you want it ahead of time, or do you want it with the packet? You want some time to look over it?
Packet's fine.
Packet is okay, so I'll get it out to you then. So we've made some progress on that.
Did he say which scale would be best?
Joel, yes, different than what we were bid.
Okay,
And all of the people talked about the scales, and Dan Halleck brought up, Tommy Rojeski brought up, and Rick Wadle brought up that scales are a lightning rod. That when you put a scale in, you have to have disconnects that have to be shut down at night, because if you don't, they're gonna blow your computers out, because they're a big piece of steel laying right out in the middle in the open. But Joel says his suggestion is he's gonna do an option on what it would cost to put a concrete scale in, meaning the deck is concrete. And he said they're a lot less susceptible to jarring when trucks come across it. Of course, we're not putting any double bottoms across them, but they're a lot less susceptible to jarring. He said there might be a little bit less with lightning, but Joel also said the option that we had on there for rails on it, he said you do not want a scale that the public is going to be driving across without guardrails on it. He said don't even think about it. So it was those things that, you know, and some of those same things I was told by the other three people too, from Halleck and White Lake and from Wadle Stabilization. So we've got some very knowledgeable people, you know, and the preference between the scales, nobody really wanted to get into. Rick Wadle has a brand new Clam Lake scale sitting over at his shop that they didn't put in yet because they put up the big maintenance building. But it is a scale that will take double bottoms. It'll go up to 120,000 pounds. And we don't need anything like that because we don't want double bottoms on that site. But so they're both in use in this area, both companies, and they're both reputable companies. But we're getting it closer to get, this is what it's gonna cost us, you know, to have them put in. And I'm taking the view on this, no matter what we do, you know, if we go into relationship with American Classic, and I see their signs in Oceana County and Northern Muskegon County more and more all the time, we need a scale. But even if we keep the transfer station, this scale is gonna cost us less than what 1 year it cost us to supplement the transfer station. If we have a scale, it should narrow that down a lot of what we're supplemented for it. So, you know, I just think it's something we need to keep on and make it happen. And I will have more information for that at the next meeting. So,
thank you.
but it's going to be more. This is what you need, and this is about what it's going to cost. Amy, do you have anything else for us?
Not today.
Tracy?
Oh, I'm all set.
Amy, and I'm of the understanding the only primary election decision that's going to be made is going to be for the judge.
Correct. Everybody else is running unopposed.
You know, having always run with opposition, I think it's nice so far not to run one time. I could tell I'm an independent,
Yep.
but I'm also going to say when you have all of those positions coming up, that doesn't say a lot for the health of our government right now, then nobody wants to run for elected positions. Right?
Well, the other thing is, we might be doing such a great job that they enjoy our presence here.
Well,
That's the ticket.
Well, I know you're talking about my fellow commissioners. You're not, yeah, but it is, and this is going on all over. People don't want any part with public positions anymore. The elected positions anymore, and that's sad. Paul, last word is yours.
Last word's mine. Well, I'll tell my fellow commissioners that I did attend the last Oceana County Republican meeting, of which on the agenda was the dissolution of that party in Oceana County. There were 3 board members that were looking to resign, 1 immediately and 2 more over the successive 2 months. So there's a lot changing